Camí de Cavalls 360 is the staged tour of Menorca by bike or on foot. It also offers another challenge, the 185-kilometre non-stop tour. The Australian Lachlan Morton is the first to face the challenge in 2022. Will he achieve a Camí de Cavalls 360 non-stop ranking? And can he beat the fastest time set by Ismael Ventura in March 2021?
The first thing when we wrote him an email explaining what the challenge was about, what thing we made sure to tell him was how this trail is different from many of the paths and trails you will find in the world. It's really a rocky, natural path. It doesn't have big climbs. It's just 135 meters above sea level is the highest altitude, which is nothing. And yeah, we explained him what it was about in terms of the kind of trail and kind of mountain biking involved. And his answer was, yeah, great, looks awesome, it should work, let's do it.
I didn't know about the trail, and then started to research the trail, and then saw it had like history with riding and running, and then looking at like the particularities of the trail, I was like, okay, this looks really interesting and like a proper challenge.
Then once he came to Menorca and we were biking together in Camí de Cavalls in some of the most difficult parts, yeah, I was afraid because many people has trouble to understand how difficult it is, this trail, until they ride in it. But when he was riding in Camí de Cavalls, after 2 minutes, he said, that's great, that was exactly what I was looking for. This trail is engaging, and this is the best that can happen if you have to go for a long ride like it will be tomorrow.
So my goal coming was to basically discover the island and then see what the trail was about.
Morning, Lachlan. What's up, man? How are you? Good.
And here we have Lachlan Morton leaving the hotel in Mao at 7 in the morning. He is heading to the start line to begin the Camí de Cavalls 360 non-stop challenge. A tough 185 kilometers needs to be completed in order to finish the Tour of Menorca.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be. I didn't think I would go faster, no. I think like, from what I'd seen of the trail in the few days before, it's very particular and like very specific. So I tried to not think about like the time when I set out, and just was like, okay, I'll go as fast as I can go in a way that like I'm enjoying what I'm doing and not like stressed about an outcome, and then just see where I get.
And from the first moment when we saw him around 12 kilometers, more or less, we saw that he was going really fast and really smooth and really into it from the start. And that same feeling we had all the way around.
My body showed up on the day, like I felt like really good physically and was able to like push hard. There's like a specific moment also like with the sun coming up, like over the ocean here, like maybe only 45 minutes into it, and like everything, I could feel like I was like, my bike setup feels good, I feel very comfortable on the bike, my legs feel really good. Okay, this is gonna be they're super fun. Technically, I was feeling really good. I had like 3 or 4 days of mountain bike racing. So like the body was conditioned for like the hands, arms, the back, like all the stuff that normally you miss from just road racing. That was like lined up. And then I had one road race just before, which like brings up your level a bit to where you can push for longer periods. So yeah, like accidentally my preparation was good. You basically have to be really focused on what you're doing, but relaxed on the bike and try and constantly be moving over the rocks and like working with the terrain as much as you can.
Well, last year, 2021, we did all the attempts starting in Ciutadella clockwise. And this year we want to show another perspective, which is starting in Mao counterclockwise. So, of course, there are differences going one way or the other, but if you think of a section, quite short section or 20-kilometer section, I could say, yeah, this way is better than the other. But doing the whole loop, I really don't know. I thought about it many times, but I think in the end it kind of balances one section with the other. From the middle of the north to Ciutadella, to the west, and then part of the south, that's a really rough, technical, really mountain biking track. And we didn't know if he was able to keep that pace during all that section, which is really long, maybe this 75k, which most of it is really rough and difficult. And in addition, he had all the western part, he was going to do it with headwind.
The north it's quite savage, you know, like it's very rocky, exposed, and it's really like harsh. Luckily, I'd seen some of that part to mentally be like, okay, it's going to be hard and slow and you're going to be walking and it's just like part of the game. Once I got to Ciutadella, it was like, okay, more or less halfway, but I also know that's when things get interesting normally. Once you get past 5 hours, that's when like it turns into something more than a normal bike ride. And that's when like mentally you have to be more on your game.
We had like a van with assistance for him, but we really didn't expect him stopping there to eat and drink. So he just went fast through the system points, changed the bottle when he needed to, and just that. I think he didn't step down maybe once or twice, but that's all.
As you come back further south, the trails are a bit more, like there's a bit more moisture. Like there's like forest sections that are quite green and like not flowy, but it feels like flow trails after you've been on like rocks for 20 kilometers. I think it's gonna be close, so I'm just gonna push from here all the way to the finish.
The feeling when we saw him coming and arriving to the finish line was mainly a bit of relief, because you are a bit worried when you see all the effort involved from him and from us during all the tour, all that hundreds of situations where something could happen, something could go wrong, mechanical failure, anything that. Yeah, when we saw him arriving, it was a relief that, okay, the effort that he has put in it has its reward.
So I was having fun out there, so like the finish line is always a bit sad. Like it's a bit sad to be like, okay, it's done now, you know?
And it's good that he sees it this way, because it fits a lot with the way we try to explain our challenge, and we try to show the people that the performance, the competition, it's great. We like to promote it, but we like to promote it without forgetting all the other things, which in the end are more important than the result.
It's a very unique trail that like deserves recognition. It was nice to have a day that was more than just setting a record. Regardless of how beautiful it is here in Menorca, the trail itself, just standalone, is worth coming to do. I would love to go ride every part of the trail again, not at one time. I had a lot of really nice moments yesterday. I was totally in the moment, thinking purely about what I was doing for almost 10 hours. I don't know if I've ever had that in just in my life before. I felt like I was in full flow state. That's an amazing thing to have. It's hard to replicate that, and that was like a privilege to have that experience.